Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool all had routine wins, all scored 2 goals, but not every team had it their own way. Hi, I'm Wayne, and welcome to Goals by the Numbers. Let's just get straight into it. So, our first match, Arsenal versus Wolves. In a match where 3 goals were scored by Wolves players, they still ended up losing the match 2-1. Wolves currently are one of the worst Premier League teams I have seen in a long time. I'm thinking like maybe I can remember Swindon in like the mid 90s being this bad, but it was a different time in football back then. Wolves looked like they were actually doing quite well last week when they were playing against, or this week when they were playing against Manchester United and managed to equalise. But against Arsenal, you were thinking, okay, top of the league, doing well. I mean, top of the league, right? You can't really say it's doing badly. Top of the league, doing well, very dangerous at pieces. Last few seasons they've had good seasons. Been quite progressive. Been very effective. Went deep into the Champions League last season. Got knocked out by the eventual winners, and have come second like the last 3 seasons. So, with that in mind, all the momentum in this match literally was in Arsenal's favour. And you would have hoped that with Wolves and the fact they have 0 to lose, would have maybe had a bit more of a go. But such is life. It wasn't until the 70th minute when Arsenal took the lead, when a corner came in, cleared everybody, hit the back post or the far post, bounced back off the keeper's back, and then dropped into the net. Arsenal go 1-0 ahead. I guess this is also a reason why set pieces are so effective, because if the keeper's going to end up inadvertently knocking the ball into his own net, are you really going to complain? I mean, happy days, right? Now at this point, you have what effectively is one of the poorest attacks in the Premier League I've seen. You have a team who doesn't score many goals against a team who doesn't concede many goals. So in a lot of cases this season, assuming Arsenal's trend continues of being a really miserly defence. I really love that word. I should try and find more ways to use it more often. With Arsenal's miserly defence, you can almost come to the conclusion that against most of the teams that they're going to play this season, especially at home, if they go 1-0 up, the game is effectively done. It kind of reminds me of way back when, I think it was the early 90s, just before the Premier League actually started. God, when I was young, so many years ago, so many decades ago. And there was a thing where Arsenal would score a goal and the fans would cheer 1-0 to the Arsenal. And they almost seemed to revel in the fact that they would go a goal up and shut the game down. Now in their current guise, they have a lot of attacking talent. So going 1-0 up, you would almost hope that, or assume that the other team would then have to kind of open up more, take a bit more risk, which will only open up more spaces for the Arsenal players. And when you think of the runners they've got, such as Saka, Martinelli, Madueke, acres of space to run into is not going to be a bad thing for them. So on the 90th minute, Wolves actually equalised. So a bit of a chipped cross pass kind of thing, and Arakode, he was able to kind of flick the ball in past Rare, who was moving in one way, tracking the flight of the cross, but didn't expect that the guy would head the ball in another direction. Wolves fans go crazy, and you're thinking 90th minute equaliser. This is going to be the only goal Wolves are going to score in this game, because their attack is, to be polite, rubbish. And actually the second goal they scored in the match. But then, cometh the hour, cometh no man. Arsenal attacked again, 3 minutes into injury time, or 3 minutes after Wolves had equalised. And cross came in. I think it was Gabriel Jesus went for the header, but just missed it. and Mosquera, the Wolves defender. It came off him, flew into the net, and that was the equal. That was the goal that won the game. So we have three Wolves players scoring goals, and them still losing 2-1. An absolutely sad state of affairs for this team. But speaking of that, where does each team go from here? Arsenal will be happy to have got the points whilst not having managed to score any goals. You know, earlier in the season, Arsenal were really good, really clinical, but you can't expect a team to be battering teams every week. There's going to be a dip, and in that dip, the question is, will they still be able to pick up points? They are in said dip, and Wolves is a classic case of a game where, you know, they've only got 2 points all season. They haven't won a game, so somebody's going to lose by them and be embarrassed. And I actually thought it would be against Manchester United. So I was relieved to find out that, or relieved to see that Man United got past them. But Arsenal, I mean, that would be a big scalp. And Wolves didn't really make a fist of it. So Arsenal march on. They will be happy to get the points and end this week without too much fuss. Wolves at this point, just give up. I've said it before in previous videos. I would start selling the bigger name players now. You're not going to make up the difference. You're going to go down. You may as well get the cash in and plan for the championship, plus the parachute payment, and have a whole boatload of money to be able to buy the best players in the championship, buy a few wily characters and experienced players to get straight back up. It's done for Wolves. There's no bite up front, in defence, in midfield. I mean, to be fair, I think if you put this team in the championship, they probably struggle there too. But yeah, never mind. Routine win for Arsenal, even if Wolves did score all of the goals. That takes us on to our second match, that being Liverpool against Brighton. So the big point in this match, well, the first thing we were all looking for was an indication of Mohamed Salah and what was going to happen with him. So he actually started on the bench in this match, which was his last before AFCON starts. Personally, I would always think if you have a player who's like, you know, suspended in the next match, maybe a different tournament, or like a tournament like AFCON, surely play the player because you know he's going to be gone for a few weeks. It means that someone else gets to rest, and you know you can use him in the coming weeks. Now, not a direct comparison, but Liverpool took the lead in the first minute through Ekitike, who, as every week goes by, makes me think what a great signing he was. And he was about half I don't remember exact cost or price of what he would buy. I think it was 70. But yeah, he was 50 million cheaper than Isaac, and half the price of Wirtz or vice versa. Yeah, really good signing. Absolutely hate the fact that he's gone to Liverpool and is doing so well, but that's a personal point. He scored in the first minute with an assist from Joe Gomez, who kind of nodded the ball on. When I saw Joe Gomez was starting, I actually thought that maybe he was starting in place of one of the Chuckle brothers, that being Van Dijk and Konate, but no, he started right back. Gomez has always looked like a decent player, but had bad injuries, and in the 26th minute, he was injured. And his replacement was Salah. So, okay. He gets on in the 26th minute. You're thinking, you know, what's he going to be like? Because he didn't play the last match. There was the comments. But Salah looked like he had the bit between his teeth and he really wanted to prove a point. Salah actually got an assist in the game for a corner, which Ekitike headed in. So 2 goals for that man. And that assist actually broke a Premier League record, I believe, for goal involvements. So I think Salah has something like 188 goals, 89 assists, which now takes him one ahead of Wayne Rooney. I mean, if Salah actually goes, and this is his last match at Liverpool, to replace that kind of output over 2 or 3 seasons is going too expensive. I mean, hell, Ekitike's really trying to be that guy, but yeah, we'll see. I would also say Florian Wirtz, take note. Honestly, he just, as every week goes by, it's not even funny anymore. Like, as an opposition fan, it's not even funny anymore. I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, maybe give him the next penalty so he can kind of get that monkey off his back. But for that money, you should be expecting a hell of a lot more. And he just seems poor, really poor. And I've always had this opinion, without days to back it up, so maybe that's something for a future video. I always had this opinion that players who come from the French and German league tend to do better simply because those leagues tend to be quite physical. So in the German league, in the Bundesliga, they run a hell of a lot, and in France it tends to be quite touch tight play, especially midfield. So the midfielders tend to be quite robust and used to a bit of, I guess to use a really old phrase, argy bargy. But Wirtz, I've got no idea. I've never seen. I'm not going to finish that statement. Yeah, maybe it'll come good. He probably won't at this point, but again, it's a Liverpool problem, so I'm very pleased with that. So yeah, Liverpool won the match 2-0. Salah goes to the AFCON. No comments after the match, so all good. Where do both teams go from here? So Liverpool are away at Spurs next, and they will be desperately hoping to maintain some momentum so they can get back into the race for the top four. The Premier League is absolutely done and dusted for them, because I can't imagine Arsenal and Manchester City and Chelsea completely falling off. And to be fair, even Aston Villa at this point might be in the running towards the end of the season unless they, capitulate, which is possible, right? Anyone can, but I can't see Villa falling apart at this point. And Brighton will welcome Sunderland in a match that I think to myself, if a team was travelling that far down England, I mean, they really can't be. It's going to be hard for them, because to travel the length of the country, you're going to be tired. So yeah, we'll have to see how both teams fare in the next round of matches. And speaking of matches, that takes us on to our final match of today, that being Chelsea 2, Everton 0. So Chelsea, I think, I should know, but Chelsea ended the run of 4 matches without a win in multiple competitions by beating Everton 2-0. Sometimes with Maresca, I get the feeling that he randomly puts players in from alternate positions into like midfield and to kind of see what happens. But so he's done it with Reece James, he's done it with Gusto, and it was Gusto actually who wasn't in a certain midfield position, who played the ball through to Cole Palmer to open the scoring. I mean, yeah, if a player can play there, is it really out of position? No. But I know Reece James has played in midfield quite a bit over the years, but it was more of a stopgap or like a specific function he was playing. And I don't believe Chelsea should have to worry about Everton to the point where they should have to actually put Reece James in midfield to do a man marking job on who? Anyway, I digress. Gusto actually had a really good game. He not only did he get the assist for Palmer for the opening goal, he actually then scored the second goal for Chelsea to effectively end the match as a contest. One thing I did note when looking at some of the day after the match was both Chelsea goals came from periods where Everton were in the ascendancy and getting a bit of steam ahead, or I guess momentum, which for them will be quite annoying to know that them actually retaining the ball and trying to attack results in them being open and being cut open and conceding twice. So maybe something for Moyes to think about, how to be able to retain possession in a way that doesn't open them up too much to be scored against. Now let's be honest, right? Chelsea, they are better than Everton, so them winning isn't unexpected. But isn't the whole Moyes shtick the point that he makes his teams incredibly hard to beat, and it's really irritating? So I would have hoped for more of I don't know, for them to be taking a leaf out of Arsenal's book and having a very miserly defence. But I guess they go better than me. They know better than me, or he would know better than me. This win keeps Chelsea in the hunt for the Champions League, in the hunt for a Champions League spot. Currently fourth, and with their current form being two in, two draws, and a loss. Everton, they're in the middle of the table with about 10 other teams. Currently, not really going anywhere fast. On one hand, I think we're all a bit surprised that one team has a few teams have just broken away from the pack and started running away. Arsenal look like they might have done that, but then they had a few matches where they didn't win. City are making a bit of a comeback. Chelsea are kind of, you know, building up overall momentum, if not having a few matches where they kind of falter. And Liverpool have just had their implosion. But there's a hell of a lot of teams between like 5th and 15th. It's one of those weird seasons, like where like when Leicester won. One of those really weird seasons. So maybe Villa are going to win it this season. Maybe I should change my prediction and say Aston Villa are going to win the Premier League. How wild would that be? I'm not sure I could take the frustration from the Arsenal fans if they didn't win the league this season. I mean, my God, it would be epic, but yeah, yeah, it would be interesting. So, thoughts, comments, questions, concerns? Do we think Arsenal are going to hold on and win the league? Are Man City going to sneak up and take it from them? Chelsea, loads of young players, but surely they should be good enough to make the Champions League, right? And Wolves, have we ever seen a team this bad? Catch you in the next one.